Going into this attempt, I was capable of the backwards worm. Before giving the forwards worm a shot, I tried to imagine my backwards worm in reverse, to set myself up with the proper motion. Putting these motions into action was much more difficult than I had imagined. I was a little bit discouraged from this first attempt, as it felt as if I was a flopping fish. I had hoped that with practice I would get the hang of it. Going into my second attempt, I thought more about what kind of motion I need to perform to successfully achieve a forwards worm over my flopping fish. The first motion showed some improvement. However, my pre-achieved automatic motion of the backwards worm took over, causing me to execute the worm in the wrong direction. I attempted to correct this mistake too quickly and banged my chin off the floor. Knowing how to perform the action in the opposite direction was detrimental to my forwards worm, despite my original thought that having a previous understanding going backwards would be beneficial to learning forwards. Going into my third attempt, I decided to try and figure out which portion of my body is best to start with. I did trial and error to try and get my feet in the right position. Going into my fourth attempt, I tried to get the upper motion of my body, trying to attain the rocking motion. I was able to achieve a small amount of rocking, however my feet that I had focused on in the attempt before were not being used as they should be. Feedback given for this stage of my worm was to use my momentum from legs and feet to bring into my upper body. Prior to this attempt, I decided to watch a tutorial for the forward worm to see how the feet are connected in with the rocking motion. This had slowed down my motion and I became much stiffer. Going into this attempt, I was determined to use the same technique as before with a minor modification. I attempted to bring more of a rocking motion to help with my stiff, rigid worm. In these next few attempts, I tried my best to work on the rocking motion and to bring my hips upwards so that my feet could plant on the ground. Feedback given for this stage of my worm was to attempt to be more loose in my rocking motion. I was unable to get to the final stage where the worm became an automatic motion, so I decided to perform my backwards worm in which I have developed to this stage and reversed it as a demonstration of what a forwards worm in the automatic stage might look similar to.